All right, welcome back for another video. So in today's video, I'm just going to be updating you on the aquaponics system and some other things of the sort. But you can see the greenhouse behind me, so let's get to it. Here you can see the exterior of the aquaponics system. It's in an 18 by 24 foot greenhouse. I do have shade cloth on the top that I do need to remove for now, but I'm planning to put like a railing at the top where I can roll it up and down for when I need to use it during the summer. But you can see the exterior of the greenhouse right there. Here's the entrance that I have. I got the door over here, a little opening, which I should close around now just to keep more warmth in here, but because of the humidity in the aquaponics system, I have it open, which as well is why I have that fan running basically here to circulate it more. As you can kind of see the condensation on the top, it becomes quite humid in here and things will get moist, which causes it to mold. So that's why I have those open. At the moment, I don't have much growing. I did harvest a bunch of the basil that I had over here, which was a good amount. We had quite a few this season. Cut it down or grew again, cut it down or grew again. Over here, I did have a bunch of lettuce as well. We just harvested that today. You can kind of see the leftover plants. I do need to clean it up and power wash it like I did to these rafts over here, and then plant some more stuff over there. I have the 4 media grow beds in this aquaponics system that you can see over here. There's some things growing, like I have the Minari, the curry tree plant, which I should make a video on this plant, which is pretty cool, where it progressed from where it was before until where I put it in my aquaponics system, which is pretty neat. It was like literally not growing. I put it in here, it grew tremendously in the first year, so I should make a video on that and show you the difference. But you can see everything's growing well. I do need to plant more plants, but just have been lazy, which is what it is. Just got to start them, then plant them, and then after that I really don't really got to do much except harvest them. I have the sump tank over here, which is doing well with the box around it. During the winter, it actually collapsed around here because it rained and I didn't compact the dirt enough when I did it, so it collapsed and everything. Well, there's not the tank itself or anything, just the soil. So I had to fill it all up over here. You can see I do have some soil piled up in the back there because it's settled over there as well. But you can see the water. There's like a foot of water in there. I still need to get a sump pump to really suck this stuff up and put it on there with the float valve. But that's sort of the plan. So there's still things I have to do on the aquaponics system. Not completely done, but it's pretty much functional, you can say right now. We got our Moringa plants growing right there. They're dormant right now just because it is winter. They should come back next year when it warms up, just like it did this year, which we got a decent harvest from it. I mean, they're not going to grow the biggest in here, but we got a good amount, which we're able to dry and use. I also harvested all this longevity spinach. I didn't use much of it this time. I gave a lot of it to the chickens because we had a lot of it already. It grows like crazy, so I might take out like 3 of these plants and just leave half of them in here since I don't use as much of it. But it is very healthy and it grows extremely well. But you can see that. So here's the fish section of the aquaponics system. The fish are doing well. I have different species of fish in here. We got the filters over there as well as over there. If you did see one of my videos earlier, I was showing you this particular tank here, which I have my tilapia or my warmer water fish and the plecos as well. So what I basically did is I stuck a heater on here to keep this particular tank warmer. There's a slow trickle of fresh water coming into here, which just feeds through here and goes back into the system itself, so it's able to keep up at a warmer temperature, because the temperature in the aquaponics system itself is like below 60, and in here it's like right now 70 something. My thermometer is all the way over here. Yeah, so right now it's 70, which is decent for them and keeps them active during the winter, and I don't want to risk them dying since I've had these guys for a bit. Those are those guys. I have some bluegill in that system as well as that system. The filters are pretty much done. I do have to work on it. So like this is a radial flow filter. Here's a moving bed biofilter, which I still need to make a video on, which is working well. I have a temporary air pump for the things, but I do plan to set up some sort of other system here with valves and stuff. But those filters are doing well. Same on that side. I still got to finish the moving bed biofilter here and put a aerator in there and then finish this filter. But otherwise everything is pretty much going well in here, besides some fish losses during, what is it, like last month period. Yeah, during October, when there's a lot more fluctuations in the temperature, where during the day it's extremely hot and during the night it gets colder. Even though the system itself is about 3,000 gallons of water, it still has some good fluctuations just because of the tanks and stuff. So it was just like one body of water like my pond, which I have over there, then there'd be less fluctuation, so it would drop and it wouldn't really raise during the winter, which is better for the fish. Some more fluctuations is not the best for them, but you can basically see how the aquaponic system looks in here. As I mentioned, I do need to plant more plants, but otherwise all is doing well. Pretty neat and addictive to do. But you can see how that's going. It's all organic since the food I'm feeding my fish is organic. I do plan to make my own food later on, so we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, since the food I'm introducing into the system, which is the source of nutrients, is organic, everything else which comes out of it is organic. It is a little more expensive for the food, but should be worth it in the end when I eat the fish, if they grow. So we'll see. So that's pretty much the aquaponics system. It's doing well. There's still some things I have to do, but otherwise, to show you the garden that we have here, we have these raised grow beds over here, which we don't really do much during the winter. We just pretty much plant cover crops to supply more nutrients for it when we plant during the summer. Since this is primarily my mom's and she doesn't like coming out during the winter, but you can see we have that doing there. We do have some stuff which is still growing, like the kale, the collard greens, and so forth, which grows pretty much throughout the year until it grows too much and just tips over. We can have that. We have a bunch of trees over here which are dormant now as well, but we did get some, like most of these are new, but we did get some fruit this year from them. The figs were a hit. Not much of them, but they went pretty quickly. The cherry tree, we always have a lot. It's always a competition with the squirrels to see who can eat the most. The apple tree, for some reason, we didn't have much of a harvest this year. Not sure why, but previous years it's like way too much. But you can see that. In terms of my pond, which I have on the other side, I am gonna put grow beds along here. You can see I already have this one here. It's not completely done. I do need to put some more cinder blocks right here once we're done with those plants right there, and then this will all be connected to the pond, so we'll get to that later on. I still have to collect some stuff, but I'm planning to put grow beds along there. I will be removing that compost bin over there, which I was trying to use to set up for heating the system, but I don't think I'll do it anymore. I'll just take it down and I'll do something else. Basically, I have all the grow beds already collected for the system. I just have to figure out whether I want to do stands. So here's 2 more grow beds. So like for these, I'm thinking of just doing, if you know what fairies moss is, and duckweed, and then I can basically use that as fish feed, which should be good, which should be going right there. But primarily right now, why I haven't got to this yet is I'm figuring out whether I want to just get a bunch of cinder blocks or do some pallet racks. But literally for the pond is over there. This is all in a hill, so I have to have these tanks literally this high, which is about 4 feet off the ground. And that's a lot of cinder blocks if I'm coming up from 4 feet down there, so I don't think it's that stable unless I reinforce it with a rebar and stuff like that. So I'm thinking a pallet rack will do it, but they're pretty pricey, so we'll see if I can find something for cheap. But that's pretty much that on this section. So our garden, or a yard, is pretty much sectioned off into 3 sections, you can say. We have our chickens over there, chickens and ducks over here. We have the gardening area over here where we have these raised bed gardens, as well as the aquaponics system over there. So the chickens and ducks got this area, which around now it kind of becomes nasty because of the rain and stuff like that, since we don't really rotate it, which would be kind of good to do. Maybe like section off somewhere and grow something, which is actually what we're doing like in this section. So every once in a while right over there we section it off, grow some wheatgrass, then the chickens get to eat all that, which would be good over here, but we don't really want to reduce their area, so we'll see. We might have to though, just because of the ground, make it a little nicer. But we have their coop over here, then we have a mixture of ducks and chickens. Fortunately, they don't lay really much eggs right now, but it's what it is. We have our compost bin here, which is a 3-bin compost system, which I do plan to redo. Basically, I want to redo all the wood, make it a little different, and then instead I might want to pour a concrete rim around it or use cinder blocks just to give it a, there is something there, but when I made it, I used just what I had lying around, so I didn't have much. So when I do it again, I'll do it a little better. But you can see we got the 3 sections. This stuff should be ready to use soon, which will mix into those grow beds over there. So that's pretty much this area. And then over here you can see I have the pond, which is doing well. This so far, this fishing line going across the top has protected the fish, so I haven't really had any fish losses from birds coming to get them. I had actually one time I saw a heron there, or was it egret? I don't remember. Because there was no fishing line there. I don't know if it took any fish, since I didn't really count. Didn't take the special ones, so that's what counts. But you can see I have the fish there. I am thinking I might get rid of a good amount of them, because I'm thinking to put catfish in here so I can have more practical. And then since as I mentioned earlier, I am gonna hook this up and create it into an aquaponics system. Like if I would redo it all over again, I probably would have combined them. The only thing is it's hard to do because this is higher up than the aquaponics system itself, so the pond would be acting as a sump, but it's kind of hard to do right now. So when I do redo everything, when I move, hopefully eventually get a bigger area, that will be the plan. Well, we'll see. They'll change up completely. But anyways, the pond is doing well. I got those plants growing over there and the bogs. The taro will definitely die down, as well as the canna, but otherwise they're kind of overgrown. And the fish are doing well. The turtles I did take out recently because it's getting too cold for them, and I don't want to lose any of them during the winter, so I took them out. But you can see the pond is doing well. Well, that about sums up this video, just showing you everything that I have, the plan for the pond to convert into aquaponics system, how the greenhouse is doing, and how the rest of the garden is doing. So I do plan to move eventually. Just gotta raise enough money so I can buy like a small farm somewhere in a different state, and I can really do a lot of this, but that just involves a good amount of money. Otherwise, if you do have any questions or comments about this video, remember to leave them in the description below, and I will get to those when I can. Otherwise, I appreciate the support, and thank you for watching.